Hello guys. Today I'm doing a little bit of a different reading. I don't normally do readings on people who have passed. It is something that I can do, but it's not something I prefer to do. But I can get in contact, I guess, with people on the other side who have passed. For me, I just feel like it's something that should be very respected. Like, you should be very respectful when it comes to stuff like this. So I really want to be as respectful as I can in this video. Because in the spirit world, it's all about respect, you know? So I just, want to clarify in this video that I come in peace. And I've already burned the stage around the cards. I don't know if you can tell it's still burning. I already burned the stage around the cards. And, let Miss Monroe and the spirits around her know that I come in peace. And I have already set my intention. I want to see what Marilyn Monroe was like as a person, what her spirit was like, um, you know. So that's what I want to see. So yeah, let's get this reading started. This is a celebrity psychic reading on Marilyn Monroe. There's actually a couple questions I want to ask, but we'll see how this reading goes. And see how far I can go. Alright? Like I said, it's a respect thing. Alright, let's see what the cards have to say about Marilyn Monroe. What can you tell me about Marilyn Monroe? What was she like as a person? What was her spirit like as a person on a day-to-day basis? What can you tell me about Marilyn Monroe? What was her spirit like as a person on a day-to-day basis? I feel like she was always thinking a lot. Alone at home, thinking. Contemplating, plotting, strategizing. She spent a lot of time thinking. And then I see her practicing her poses, like her sensualness. Like her sensualness is, I feel like, is something she practiced. It's something that came natural to her, but it's something that she also practiced. Like how can I put it? She practiced it. Like it's something she continuously refined behind closed doors. Like her posing, the way she like arched her back, and the way she held out her hand and tilted her head, and so like I feel like it's all calculated. It's all like practice. It's all refined over time. That's why you see, like, it seems so instinctual when you see her in like films and on camera. And when you see her on YouTube videos, it's because like she practiced it, like she refined it behind closed doors. Like I even see her like putting on her makeup and practicing her makeup and like doing it like with the makeup on, like doing it without the makeup and then putting on, and even like the makeup itself, like the application of the makeup and like putting on the face and like become like the whole process of becoming was something that she can of becoming Marilyn Monroe is something she continuously refined, and like every detail of who you see, how she's presented is calculated, is strategized, is plotted by her. I feel like she was super duper smart, like way smarter than obviously people give credit, and I know we hear that all the time, but like There was really an art to being Marilyn Monroe. It really was. And that's why by the time, like, right before she died, like, you know, she was still, like, hot. She was, like, but she was, like, a refined type of hot. It's because she had, like, that Marilyn Monroe archetype, like, refined. Like, it was just, like, autopilot at that point for her. Like, she could just, like, turn it on and off, you know? What was Marilyn Monroe like as a person? What was Marilyn Monroe like as a person? But I feel like behind closed doors, she was always thinking. Always thinking. Reading and thinking. Reading, thinking, and smoking cigarettes. And obviously, you know, drinking every now and then. Maybe more often than now and then. But a lot of thinking. Ooh, I see writing as well. A lot of writing. Thinking and writing. And phone calls. I feel like she would get so caught up in herself that she would, like, even sometimes forget to eat. She would forget to do normal things, like shower, like the normal stuff that, you know, people do, you know, just like breathing for some people, you know, it's just like, you know, I don't know, brushing your teeth in the morning, like just normal. I feel like she would sometimes get so caught up in herself and so wound up, you know, that she would just forget. Interesting. Alright, let's see what the cards have to say. I'm seeing, I don't know if I want to say this, but I'm seeing, like, I feel like she got enemas a lot. And then I'm seeing, like, an image of, like, you know, the photo where she's, like, dead in her room. Like, I'm seeing an enema being, like, shoved, like, kind of up her anus. That's what I'm seeing, people, you know, allegedly. That's what I'm seeing, alright? Don't judge me. This is what I'm seeing. Alright, Knight of Gabriel. Confident, enthusiastic, courageous, charismatic. Time to take action, great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing just what to do. So I feel like she immediately knew what she was going to do, what she was going to become. It was innate in her, what her purpose was. She was divinely guided to become who she was. Like, it was all a part of her divine purpose. Two of Michael. It will all be better if you just make a decision over analyzing a problem, find a compromise. This is interesting because this reminds me a lot of the sign of Gemini. It's a sign of the twins, and I know she was a Gemini, I think. I feel like she dealt with a lot of, once again, like, constantly battling herself, battling thoughts within her head, contradictions in her head, contradictions externally. Like, it's like she had one thought in her head, you know, of how she wanted to be, how she felt things should be, but then externally, the people around her in the world wasn't validating that. So it's like she constantly had an internal and external battle within herself and outside of herself, if that makes sense. Like, she was always battling something either within herself or outside of herself, with the people around her, with just like the world around her, of not letting her be able to really be her and express who she really was inside. Two of Gabriel. Make bold and ambitious choices. Great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. Interesting. I feel like she was able to ease them. She was very persuasive. She was very persuasive and very, once again, very calculating. Not in a bad way, but like in a persuasive way. I don't know. She was a very persuasive woman, but a very calculating woman. Like she knew what she was doing. Like she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Um, I feel like she was easily able to align herself with people in power and to get them to trust her and vice versa. Because I feel like she was a very trusting woman. I felt like she kept a lot of secrets. Even on her deathbed, like I felt like she kept a lot of a lot of secrets with the people around her. She knew a lot about the people around her that I feel like isn't even known about to this day. That it's not like public knowledge. Like she knew a lot about the people around her. Um, the Sun, number 19, Archangel Uriel. Life is wonderful, thrives the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. Obviously, she was a very successful woman, and I feel like part of her success was her ability, once again, to align herself with powerful people in power. She was attracted to people in power. She was attracted to power, even if she didn't know it. Like consciously, and like instinctively, like unconsciously, subconsciously, she was attracted to power, and not even necessarily money power, but just like power. Physical power, like just like power. Two of Ariel. It's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. I feel like work was her saving grace. Once again, I feel like work definitely was her saving grace. A big part of that was because I feel like she spent a lot of time inside. She spent a lot of time inside. Like I feel like she spent a lot of time inside alone by herself, thinking. Like refining the character of Marilyn Monroe. Refining Marilyn Monroe, but like just plotting, detailing, mapping out like her career plans, the next 5-10 years about how she wants that to go, and her goals. I feel like that's the type of person she was. But I feel like there's an element of messiness to it, or an instability to it. It's like she's mapping out all these goals and career plans, but it's like on one point. So on one hand, she believes herself and she wants all these things to happen, but on another hand, she doesn't believe herself. There's an element of doubt and fear and like self-sabotage. Um, so I feel like she was actually very work oriented, very dedicated to her craft and her art of who she was. Like she totally knew who she was. Like the character of Marilyn Monroe, like she how can I put it? Like no one else can be her. That's the way to put it. No one else will be able to recreate Marilyn Monroe because she did it herself. Like people, she did it herself. It was all her creation. Yeah, she had help from people, acting coaches helped refine, her acting on camera. Yeah, she had makeup artists, um, beat her face, for the most part. But I feel like, yeah, she even had, designers making custom dresses for her and all that stuff. So yeah, she did have help, but I feel like there are details, like little details that she refined herself behind closed doors in the mirror looking at herself, refining those eyebrows, like making sure they're perfect, like even well after the makeup artist has done them. And then I see her, like, when the makeup artist is doing her makeup, I see her paying attention and then recreating it behind closed doors, recreating what the makeup artist did and then making it better, like refining it. And then, like, I see her, like, once again refining her poses, the way she poses, the way she stands, the way she walks, the way she tilts her head. Like, it was all calculated, you know, and it was all refined and created by her. So it was all her. That's why there will never be another Marilyn Monroe, because it was all her. Two of Raphael, two hearts dedicated to creating something wonderful, kindred spirits, don't give up on those you love. So I really feel like there was a man around her who really loved her. It was one of her husbands that really, really loved her. Um, yeah, there was a husband that really, really loved her. Um, there were kindred spirits, but I feel like there was an element of chaos. And I feel like, once again, it has to do with work. Working too much. Work, work, interrupting the relationship. Something to do with work, and also success. Work success. So, who, you know, once again, I feel like she aligned with herself with people in power, but it was work and success, her success, that got in the way of these relationships, I feel. I feel like people were kind of intimidated by that, her success. Nine of Michael. Your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. I feel like she actually had a lot of guilt about that when it came to men. I feel like she had a lot of guilt about her success and how much it intimidated men, and how much it came in between a lot of her relationships, I feel. Her success. People always wanting her, always wanting to grab at her. Um, I feel like Marilyn Monroe had a lot of stalkers. Um, I feel like she had a lot of stalkers. Like, I feel like there's an element of always needing to be alert when you're out in public, when I'm out in public. Always on alert when out in public. And a need to not show any element of Marilyn Monroe. So it's like, be alert, put your head down, cover the blonde hair, make sure you don't walk like Marilyn, make sure you don't talk like Marilyn, make sure you don't tilt your head, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure you're not Marilyn when you're in public. Otherwise, people will catch on to you. So there's an element of needing to be alert of that, needing to be aware of that. That people will catch on if I act like Marilyn. If I show that I'm Marilyn, people will catch on. Nine of Gabriel, stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possibility. Environmental activism. I feel like she gave back a lot. And some of it may not have been documented in public. I feel like she gave back a lot. I feel like she did a lot of charity work. I feel like she helped a lot of people. Like, she used her fame to help a lot of people. It may be undocumented, a lot of it. Nine of Raphael, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. I feel like towards the end of her life, she really wished that things were different. There's an element of wishing things were different, wishing things had gone differently. Wishing for success, wishing for things to turn around. Alright, guys. We're going to stop there. Thank you, Marilyn, for coming through. You may now leave. I thank you so much for what you did share with us. There's a lot of craziness going on, and it's upsetting me a little bit, so I'm going to stop here. That was really interesting what did come through. I think I might continue this at a different time. Might do a part 2 later because this was really interesting. So I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed doing it. And you know, if you're a Marilyn Monroe fan, I really hope this helped you and intrigued you in some way, and maybe gave you some type of clarity. Because you know, if you're a real Marilyn Monroe fan, you know there are countless books out there. So I've read. I feel like I've read it all too. Um, But there's always more you can learn about her, you know? You never really know the true... I feel like you never really know the true Marilyn. Because once again, I feel like that was all... Well, now I know it was really all just refined to a T. So, she's a very interesting woman. Very smart woman. A very beautiful woman. We love you, Marilyn. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marilyn. Alright, guys. See ya.